So the U.S. game last night, what are your thoughts on the match?
I mean, it's great. Absolutely fantastic for the U.S. to win. You know, the early goal by Clint. You know, it's tough to play when you get hit in the nose like you got, you know, where you're constantly, you can't breathe out of your nose for the rest of the game. I mean, 2 days later, a broken nose, it all settles down. But great performance by Clint, great performance by the team. You know, coming back, getting the late goal was fantastic. Between the first goal and the late goal winner, I'm sure there's some things they would feel better about if their play had been maybe a little bit different or a little bit sharper. But at the end of the day, nobody's going to remember that. All they're going to remember is 2-1, and they're going to remember 3 points, and that's so important in a World Cup opener.
How do you think that the injuries are going to affect them for these next couple matches in their group play?
Well, you know, obviously Altidore, I think, has a big effect because neither Johansson nor Wondolowski are the same type of forward. So is he going to push Clint high, bring out another midfielder? Is he going to play one of those two guys? I mean, it changes their game. And I think Clint, you know, in my experience with him now, I think he's better when he's playing forward with a forward who's willing to mix it up a little bit, you know, who's willing to take on some of those duels and those battles which Altidore takes on and Johansson sort of shies away from. And Wondolowski doesn't do that part of it because he's got Lenhart and Gordon and those guys to do that. So it definitely changes some things. You know what the situation is with Beasler is going to be up in the air. It looked like Bedoya had a little bit of a pull as well. So you know, they have to look at those things and try and get people healthy. But what's nice is in past the World Cup, you were like playing every third or fourth day. Now you're playing every fifth or sixth day. So there's definitely a difference in rhythm.
Looking at PSA Elite, your match tomorrow, I know that you're talking yesterday about the players being college players or people that you guys have seen before. So how does that affect your approach, knowing, since you know some of their playing styles?
Well, you know, obviously we've seen them, you know, in their game against Galaxy 2. You know, we've looked at that, you know, so we have our approach tactically as to what we think we can do against them. You know, it's important that we come in with the right mentality and the right attitude. You know, I think that's the biggest thing in games like this because their mentality and their attitude is going to be right. You know, they're going to come out and this is a great opportunity for them. So the longer you keep them in the game, the longer they stay motivated, and the sooner you can impose your will on the game, then the better the game goes for you.
How is the Starfire pitch this season?
It's, you know, I mean, you know, we're happy to play at Starfire and it's great atmosphere for our crowd. The pitch itself is not the best. You know, it's pretty flat, it's pretty matted down. You know, it's going to play pretty fast. You know, it's not ideal. I mean, it's actually becomes an equalizer to a certain extent. It helps a team that maybe has a little less experience or a little less quality at times, you know, get into the game because the pitch evens it out a little bit.
You have some, I guess, at least one trialist, maybe some few names coming in and out. Are there serious looks that you're doing now, or is it, you know, is this the time of the year that you bring in trialists that you might consider adding, or how's that work?
Well, it's obviously the summer window. We're always looking. Summer window's coming up, and so we want to look at things. Sometimes it's for now, sometimes it's for 6 months from now. But when you have an opportunity that, you know, it makes sense, it's a position that you're looking at, it's a player that makes sense to you, and the availability's there, then you try and get it, because not all players are willing to come on trial, nor does it work all the time. So when you're able to look at somebody on trial, it just gives you a better picture of them. And as I said, sometimes it works for right now, sometimes it works for 6 months from now.
Keep those names a secret for now?
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about Jordan Moore, so just his time with the academy and then out here and with Stanford, and just how he's evolved as a young player?
Well, Jordan's obviously one of our academy kids, you know, and he's somebody just like DeAndre now, who's at the World Cup, and Sean Okoli and Aaron Kovar, you know, somebody, and we have other academy kids, you know, around as well. But, you know, that he's here for the summer gives him an opportunity for us to look at him again, see his training, get him in here to train with us, get him around the team as well, which is important, and it's something that he wants. And so we can sort of evaluate where he's at and you know, what our feelings are, what our decision points are going to be after this next season for him.
Has he grown as a player since you've seen him last?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, he's grown. I mean, I think anytime you go away to college, you grow up a little bit once you're on your own. You know, so that helps you. And also as a player, you know, going in college as a freshman is the first time you're probably playing against older players on a consistent basis. And if you're starting as a freshman, that means a lot of times you're going against, as a forward, you're going against guys who are seniors, so guys who are, you know, 2, 3 years, 4 years older than you. And so that really helps him. At some point, it doesn't help him anymore, and you know, that's what we're looking for, is what's that right point.
And sorry, one last thing, backtracking a little bit to the match tomorrow. We see how the fans impact games at CenturyLink, being in such a small, you know, close environment, and this place packed with Sounders fans. Does it impact the match even more?
I mean, it impacts the match for sure. I mean, it's a unique place for our fans to see the game because you're so close to the action, so you actually see, you know, when you're sitting up 35 rows, you know, in the stadium, you don't necessarily always feel the tempo and the pace and the hardness of the game. And when you're this close to it, you see how fast things are really moving, how intense the running is, how much soccer is a contact sport. You know, you see all those things up close and personal, and so for the fans, I think it's a great opportunity to watch a game here.
Coach.
Good. Thank you.